What is going on, everybody?
Are we live?
Here. We're live. I mean, I think we're live, right? Pretty sure we're live. Everyone's saying F, but I think some of them are faking it. Are we live? Can you tell, Jay? People are saying we're loud. The
You're
song's
asking
gay,
me?
so
I
that
don't
must
know.
mean that we were live. I don't know what the fuck is going on today. My
Ryan's
dog
having
shit
some
plug-in
major problems. He might be on a delay. We were trying to talk before the stream. he couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear him, but something was going on. I was talking about Lord of the Flies, and he totally answered me. And then I'm like, are you not hearing me talk about Lord of the Flies? And he's like, I freaking answered you. And I was like, what did you say? He goes, I never saw the movie. And I'm like, I didn't hear you. And then he's like, you ready to go live? I was sitting back for that one. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, hey, are you ready to go live? And I was like, yeah. Did you not hear me?
All right, Jay. I'm gonna count down, and after I say I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to clap like it would be 0. I'm gonna do it right now. Get ready to clap. 3, 2, 1. Bro, that is like it's like a fucking 2-second delay for me.
Really?
We are fucked today. We are absolutely fucked today, Jay.
Maybe Jay's the problem. That's true. Maybe it is. Maybe it's me.
I don't think so. I think that it is. I am fully convinced that it's me, but maybe not. There's Lady Aaron D. Jay, I've had a hell of a 12 hours, I guess. So last night, because apparently you guys plans all watch the game together and everything. I didn't get invited to that because everybody
I was playing video games. What are you talking about?
Everyone was mad that I was going to destroy the plan. The plans fell apart, all that shit. So I went out to the bar, met up with somebody else, watching the game. I was trolling Eagles fans, trolling Giants fans the entire game. It was great. Some gay Commanders fan got really upset with me at one point because he thought I was an Eagles fan. I was like, I think both these teams are dog shit. Fuck you. And then I got to watch my Cubs. Got to stay at the bar, watch my Cubs fucking stave off elimination, force a game 5 deciding game. I was hyped. But with all that being said, I ate so much food and I drank so much alcohol last night. And I had an early start to this morning. So I'm ready. I was ready for a seamless, smooth fucking show. And obviously that's not going to happen.
So I did invite you. The plans changed. I wish you had invited me because I had nothing to do. But I did make a little bit of money, a little bit of cheddar on the Giants. So not a lot to be like happy. Like I could get some Taco Bell now thanks to the Giants. So, you know, on the Robinhood app, if you have Robinhood, they do this thing where it's like you could buy these.
Like, you could stake on different games and outcomes and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like 22 cents. So it's like, let me put $5 on the Giants.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a $25
man. Or something, yeah.
Yeah. $15. So
I saw Ash says in the chat, Giants. Yes, the Giants, they did it. I was pissed because I didn't care who won this fucking game. What I did care about was Saquon Barkley getting over 17.5 receiving yards, and he didn't because he fucking sucks. Nick Sirianni's a bitch. Fucking Jalen Hurts sucks ass. I was texting your brother after the game was like out of hand too. He was not in a good place. It's a good thing he didn't watch the game with me.
I would have loved to have watched the game with you though. Conservatives should be more worried about Antifa, Revolutionary Communists of America, and Denver Communists, and other thousands of communist groups in America instead of gay sports.
You know what, Billy? You know what, Billy Loomis, fucking genius who knows everything and it just dictates everything that we should be fucking talking about. Well, spoiler alert. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can care about multiple things at once. But also, if you want to talk about that shit, you can go to CobraCast. I'm sure Jeremy be fucking jerking off all over all the political stuff all day because that's a political show. So when we get started on this stream, we usually talk about how our fucking day was last night. And I wasn't fighting in the streets last night. I was hanging out at a bar watching my team because it is something I fucking care about. So go fuck yourself, you fucking bitch.
Just for context, I highlighted that because I really wanted a good Ryan rant in the morning. Oh, man, it gets my blood going, man. So thank you,
If
Billy.
you don't talk about this single thing every single fucking moment, then what are you doing with your life? Bro, this is an entertainment fucking show. That's what we talk about here. Now, it just so happens that sometimes these stories cross over a little bit into different things. Sometimes you have these people celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and we'll talk about that. Sometimes you have these fucking scumbags that have infiltrated the entertainment industry that push all this bullshit, and we talk about that. If you don't like the topics, there's the fucking door. What can I say? What can I say? And there's Roman Skywalker. This dude is one of the biggest cocksucking bitches I've ever seen. This dude hates us so much and bitches every single fucking day. Left thousands of comments on this channel. Every fucking day you are here, though. Every single day, Roman Skywalker, you cum guzzling piece of shit. Hello. Good morning to you.
Wait,
you know what's so funny?
He didn't spell the name right. He used bad grammar.
I mean, I have my guesses about what Roman might look like, which might explain his poor grammar, but I don't know. And all of this is happening. I'm sitting here bitching and moaning. We're probably on a delay. The stream's probably gonna fucking crash. God dang.
All right, I will turn off the chat. I don't want to upset. I will tell you something funny. This morning.
All right.
This morning, it was brought to my attention. Apparently, you know about this, that I got to talk to my mom because apparently there's a guy out there that looks exactly like me, but he's bald. Now, the conspiracy is already out because apparently this doctor, this plastic surgeon, he stopped posting around the same time my YouTube channel started. And now he's not posting anymore. So people are like, Jay, you have fake hair and you just started a YouTube channel because of your malpractice or something. I was like, I got to talk to mom because, man, that's a little too close. That's a little too close to home.
I think that
a little too close
your head would look different bald than that. If that is you, like, if that is you, poor tie choice, Jay. What's with that tie?
Well, it's from. Yeah, that's true.
What's from 2019? like ages ago.
I don't know when he posted that. So he got very horrible interaction on his Twitter. Actually, he's the kind of guy that posted on his Facebook and it automatically posted to Twitter. He had some website called Just the Right Curves because apparently he did booby operations. And the website has been taken down.
I'm sure, like, as a plastic surgeon, I'm sure he did breast augmentation. I'm sure he did some lipo. I'm sure he did all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
I want to know if the women in that picture on the header are his clients or if they're his family or if they're the people that work at the place. I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. There's like some picture on the wall here that's kind of odd, but they're all like technically dressed the same, I guess. You know, button down, black. I don't know.
They probably work there. Maybe they've all had operations done, though.
You would assume like people that work at a plastic surgeon, maybe they get bored one day and they're like, hey, you want to I got the lipo machine on. You want to come in for a quick?
I mean, I would imagine that's
the
case. I get a little discount. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like people that work at Universal. They go to Universal a lot, I'm sure. So it makes sense. Alex McCarthy, Peacemaker Lame, Meta PC, RK Outpost, or Drunk 3PO. Thanks, Alex. Jeremy's Trump body pillow. Yeah, it is totally me. I am the problem. I'm the problem. It's me, Jay. when it comes to the delay, because even when I'm clicking things to highlight them, there is a delay. So, Trump's body pillow, things Jeremy says to do. Me. Snacks for $2. Subscribe to Geeks and Gamers, things Jeremy says to do. This is now a meme officially. Has Jeremy streamed since this became a meme?
No, I don't think so.
Andre CR, let's wear Crocs and ride the seatless bicycle all day. Things Jeremy says to do.
You know what, Ryan? I'm going to get some whiskey. I'm going to head on over so we can work this thing out.
I had a lot of whiskey last night. Probably not a good idea.
I bet you did.
It was one of those where because I did have to wake up like fairly early this morning, and I woke up and I was like, yeah, might still be a touch drunk. Might be a little drunk still. Victor Chavez for 5. Good morning, fellas. Let's go Dodgers. What a way for the Phillies season to end. Good luck, Cubbies. Thank you. I feel really bad for that Phillies pitcher. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. American man. Congrats on the Cubs, Ryan. Meanwhile, let's go Dodgers. Game 4 was a pitcher's duel, and the way it ended was insane. I feel bad for the kid. I was just saying that. The way that game ended was nuts. Man, it's weird. I can't believe some of you guys aren't just super chatting me about Antifa. That's all that matters. So, Ryan Charlton for 2. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
I didn't wake up this morning expecting to be so loud. Usually Jay's the loud one on this show. He constantly gets complaints about it. Logan Johnson, hooray for the Ryan rants. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome. Sometimes you just need it, man. I feel like doing push-ups now.
Soundwave Superior. Jay, we really know your yellow flash. Maximus for 199. Are you retarded? Thanks. Little Jim's Halo for 2. The queue for Battlefield 6 is 400,000. Yeah, a lot of people hyped to play Battlefield 6 this weekend. A lot of people hyped to play Battlefield 6 this weekend. You know what people aren't really hyped for? At least it doesn't seem to be, Jay.
The Lord of the Flies.
You can talk about that. I was going to say Tron Ares, but you brought up Lord of the Flies, so go for it. Lord of the Flies.
All I'm saying was, aren't you excited, Ryan, that they're remaking the Lord of the Flies series? You know, you have never seen the movie.
No, so, I never have. That's what I attempted to tell you earlier today.
Yeah.
But I've never seen the movie.
Okay. For someone that has never seen the film or knows this story,
I do know the story. I've just never watched the movie.
I'm just saying, like, what do you think is going to happen when a group of young boys go to an island and they have to learn to survive? It's going to be
I think the little nerds are going to get the shit kicked out of them and killed. And the strong, mean ones are going to do very well. And if you don't learn to be strong and mean, you're going to die.
That's pretty much it. I think that kid dies. The doughy one. He wouldn't be doughy though in about I don't know how long they stay on the island. But yeah. Lord of the Flies coming out. Anyway, I just thought it was like, do we need basically it's just it's gonna tell you the strong survive. Good luck.
That Good is luck it looks like some sort of adaptation of Bro Island, actually. Except they kill each other instead of blow each other. So maybe Beardo should look into like suing or something. I don't know.
I'm wondering though, like I'm wondering if they're going to make it for a modern audience. You know, I wonder if they're gonna have like a trans kid on there or something. Try to make it a modern audience and see how they survive in the jungle. They're like, why can't you accept me as a real boy? You know, maybe they'll have something like that. That's what I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but we'll see.
Snacks for $2 says there are only 2 Tron movies. Anything else is Tran. Well, if that's how you feel, you might not be very excited for Tron Ares. But Tron
Oh man.
Ares, I've seen a couple people that I follow and everything that have finally seen the movie. Can't say they have great things to say.
No.
Some people can, continue to get hyped for stuff. And I do too. It depends on the project. If I have a reason to be hyped about something, sometimes I know it might be hesitantly so. But some people were like, let's give Tron Ares a chance. Let's see how it goes. So far, the reviews have been a little bit rough, at least from the people that I, usually follow,
Correct.
and I care what they have to say about things. And then, yeah, the critics didn't love it either. I don't really care too much about the critics in general, but not a good sign for Tron Ares, as just a day or two ago, Tron Ares was aiming for a $50 million domestic box office debut, looking at maybe $90 million if you include the international. So for worldwide, it's a little different now. Why Tron Ares box office projections are slipping. And certainly it's anecdotal, but a lot of people that I've seen who went were in nearly empty fucking theaters.
Yeah.
But even though just a few days ago they were saying about $50 million, might be a little optimistic at this point. Domestically, Tron Ares is now expected to earn somewhere between 33 and 45 million in its opening weekend, about 10 million less than its prior prediction. These numbers are based on October 18th report from Box Office Theory, which has been following pre-sale figures and general interest in Tron Ares since early September. Unfortunately, the film's pre-sales are lagging behind that of comparable films, like Mission Impossible Final Reckoning and other legacy franchise sequels. While fans of the Tron franchise are excited to watch the film, it is yet to reach into the walk-up family-friendly market. And when you think of Tron as a fan base or a property or whatever, I think it's tough to be like, oh, the massive Tron fan base that exists, because I don't really think that that's a thing. Tron
No.
itself, when it came out, it's not like it exploded at the box office or anything. Certainly gained a following after that. But even back in 2010 with Tron Legacy, that's a movie that made $400 million at the box office. Opened around 45 million. So there's a chance Tron Ares doesn't even match that of Tron Legacy. And considering they spent almost $200 million reportedly on this movie, they need it to do something. Disney needs it to do something impactful at the box office. And 50 million in and of itself would probably have been a disappointing opening for them. If it's somewhere in that 35, $40 million range, that's a fucking nightmare for them. But there's just nothing about this movie that is like made me think, oh, this looks fucking sick, man. I can't wait.
I think the biggest complaint that I'm seeing is that they just, I guess, like a lot of girl boss. A lot of it looks like AI. Like there's a lot of AI, and I haven't seen it yet. I was planning on seeing it today, but that there's a lot of AI, and they have a Tron movie without Tron in being in the film itself. So that's what I'm seeing online. And if that's the case, if you just can't write a good story and stick to what made this thing so special, then it's like, yeah, it's just another IP that you've taken and you flushed in the toilet. So I didn't even really, I saw like some of the, some marketing and things like that, but it wasn't overly hyped, but pretty sad, man, because this thing could be something very special if they had done it right. But it looks like, whoops, looks like they didn't. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
Drop
what
my
was
cup.
that?
My cup. It looks like there's another IP that they just wrecked with the crazy thing is, if it does come out that they are using AI in the film to film some of this stuff, like people just don't seem to like that either. So,
Well, I don't think I think
but
that
with a
most of the
budget
AI
like that, it
complaints that
makes you
we've
wonder, right?
I think that most of the AI complaints we've seen is about more like the storyline, not so much about them using AI and making of the movie. But again, I am going to see it this afternoon, hopefully from the comfort of my own home. But yes.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But right now, the projections that we were looking at a couple days ago, it looks like those are slipping as honestly, the word of mouth for the movie so far has not been great.
No, it's been
And
bad.
and I just kind of question the idea for them to even put this movie out with this big of a budget behind it, based on previous results and based on what I think is it. Look, the people who love Tron fucking love Tron. But
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's a massive, huge fan base that justifies, a $200 million budget to put it out there. But we'll see.
No, but it could have been. It could have been, you know, they could have done something really special to where it brings in a whole bunch of new people into this IP, and they probably could have told a whole bunch of different stories. But not if this thing's look like it's going to bomb, then that'll be the end of it. Either that or they're going to. This is my prediction. If this thing bombs really bad, I have a feeling that they're going to make something for like Disney Plus. So like some kind of series.
Think so?
That's the yes. I feel like that's what's gonna. If this thing is not successful, which it looks like it's not going to be, we will see. Mark my word, we will see some kind of announcement for a Disney Plus series next year. Stamp it, make it true.
I don't know.
That's my
I think
prediction.
I think with bombs,
They'll just be done with it.
yeah. I mean, what's the fucking point if it does bomb?
Because they're trying to like they're trying to revamp an IP to create a new fan base for it. So if the movie sucks, maybe they can generate interest in like in like a streaming series or something like that.
I think there might be more of a chance of that, like at this point, right? Where streaming is now.
Sure.
I think there might be more of a chance of that if it is received decently well. You know what I mean? I think then is when you see, hey, all right, this thing made $700 million at the box office. It looks like you've got some new fans of this franchise who are going back and watch the other stuff. Hey, fucking 2 years from now, we're going to do a Disney Plus series, guys.
That
I feel like
correct.
that's more likely, but
That
maybe
is
you're
the
right.
smart thing to do, right? But we look at the past of what Disney loves to do, and they seem to do the non-smart thing. You know, they created the series The Acolyte, which they fully intended on doing 3 or 4 seasons of that, which you could tell by the series, which was based off the High Republic series. The sales of the High Republic series were horrifically bad for a Star Wars book. That I mean, the bar graph was moving in the wrong direction. Every new book that came out, it was awful. There was even like again, some of their younger books for a younger audience didn't even do as well as the coloring book. That's what was being like reported out there, but maybe there just wasn't a big demand. And they pushed that High Republic series every which way they can. They made cartoons based off the characters. They were pushing the books. They did this whole thing at the theme parks to try to push people to be a part of the High Republic series. And the Acolyte, I think, was supposed to be the shining star of putting all that stuff together. And it was miserable. It was awful. And you have to agree, like they were well intended. And when some of the actors came out and said, like, yeah, we had a couple season and possibly a movie, they really wanted the High Republic to be the Disney Star Wars thing that they that they wanted it, like they wanted that to be the shining symbol of Star Wars. It had all the diversity in it. It had the binary trans Jedi twins that were in it, if you remember them. They had everything that was all wrapped up in that. And there was a lot of the High Republic stuff, even in the Galactic Star Cruiser. They were trying to like collide the worlds, with that. They really wanted to make that a thing. They did everything in their power to push it, and hopefully it would connect somehow with the people. But the more stuff they pushed, the more people walked away and laughed at it because it was dumb. So it wouldn't surprise me is if this movie bombs and they're like, well, we still got this IP, we own it. There's a lot of things that we felt like we wanted to do with it, such as release video games and everything else. Let's push out a series and maybe we can make some more money. Maybe people will jump on the series if we didn't do well with the movie. That's just my opinion on the whole thing, but just the way that they operate.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
But like, they did have that. That's what they wanted. They desperately wanted the High Republic to be this new fucking thing that they could spin a bunch of stuff out of. And they had their 3-phase plan. They were hoping to go way further than that. They connected it to a fucking show in The Acolyte, and they were excited. But then all those things fucking failed. And they canceled The Acolyte and they canceled the High Republic. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I guess time will tell. But that's my prediction.
I can't say I want a Tron Disney Plus series. Maybe they'll do an animated one, Jay.
That's a possibility.
Irma Gersh for 2 says, you guys on the Stranger Things bandwagon? I am. I'm excited. I'm excited for Stranger Things final season. I'm excited. $400 million on the budget, but at the same time, it's $400 million.
The last one, right?
Yeah, it's $400 million to make 9 movies. Every episode is at least 90 minutes long or more. Some of them are over 2 hours. So I think for those 9 episodes, you're going to have somewhere around probably 15 or 16 hours. Whereas, The Acolyte spent $200 million for about 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Wild, man.
Yeah. I would imagine, as long as it's decent, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be the best season. As long as it's decent, I think that it'll probably be like one of the biggest things Netflix has ever seen. We'll see.
Will it be as big as K-pop Demon Hunters?
I don't know if it'll be as big as K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know. Now, in terms of watch time, 1,000%, because it's going to be so long, right? And because people are going to be watching it. They're dropping episodes on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, and on New Year's. So you're going to have about a month and a half almost of them dropping shit. So I think in terms of watch time, 1,000%, it's going to be way bigger. In terms of the amount of people that actually view it, that's a different story. But now, I hope that it is fucking awesome and is the ending that everybody wants. I hope that that's the case. The reason I say even if it's decent, it'll do that is because I think that there is a lot of people that are invested in the story and stuff. So as long as it's not trash, I think it'll do very, very well, even if it isn't perfect. Let's hear about Antifa, Ryan, says Jacoby Monsoon. Yeah, I'll be on CobraCast. Dead Reckoning for 5. So legit, is Tron Ares that bad? I hope it's not that bad because I bought tickets and my dad and I are big fans of the last 2 films. I don't know. Everybody that I've heard says it's fucking shit. I'm going to judge for myself later today, which is why I'm not really indicting the movie in and of itself yet. I'm just kind of talking about the box office projections and where they're headed because of the relatively poor reception. But I hope you and your dad really like it, Dead Reckoning. Rudy for 2. Lord of the Flies 2. Escape from Epstein Island. Andre, Tron Arse. Thanks, Mr. Tobias Nexus. I have read Lord of the Flies. Didn't know there was a movie. I think there's like 2 movies, to be honest.
Yes.
But I also don't trust current day media to make it even close to that book. But we have Battle Royale's 25th anniversary in 2 days. Bungles Twanger for 2. Wait, what the fuck? J-Lo Kiss of the Spider-Woman? Apparently, J-Lo Kiss of the Spider-Woman, or J-Lo's Kiss of the Spider-Woman is in theaters. I got to be honest, I don't know shit about that. I don't know shit about that. Kiss of the Spider-Woman was independently franchised in the high $30 million range and acquired by this. It takes place in an Argentinian prison and follows a queer window dresser who dreams up vivid stories of his favorite screen diva to escape the horrors of his imprisonment. This is the second film version of Kiss of the Spider-Woman. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Alucard for 2. Tron Ovaries. Old Man J for 5. In the future, I stopped wearing wigs. Logan Johnson for $20. Yes, I'm very entertained, especially when Ryan goes off on people or topics that are absolutely retarded. How about the Ghost of Nobai, huh? It seems like a real winner to those shills out there. Can't wait for Japan's numbers. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the Ghost of Yote stuff. When it came out that it seemed like opening weekend was relatively similar to Ghost of Tsushima and people took that as way some massive win, I don't think anyone should have, because there's a big difference between Ghost of Yote's release and Ghost of Tsushima, whereas like that first one was not expected to sell 10 fucking million copies like it went on to do, or more at this point. It gained momentum as people kept hearing such great things about it, and it exploded. Whereas now you do have people who have played that and a much larger consumer base that was ready to play day one for the next Ghost game. So let's see how it does overall. It's the same shit when you look at the numbers for, say, Last of Us Part 2, which obviously did way better than Last of Us Part 1 opening weekend, because then you had a sequel to something that was pre-established. All those people that bought that could potentially be interested in that. And that fell by the wayside and couldn't even come close to the original's sales numbers. So it's going to be interesting to see in a couple weeks what they have to say. Dead Reckoning for 5. If this film bombs, sadly, this may be the last film for the Tron franchise.
It's possible.
AJ Lee, Bill Clinton, good or bad president? I mean, I'm not a big Bill Clinton guy. I do think one thing you can say for that era is with Republican-controlled Congress, I think some decent things happened because they were for Republican-led Congress and Democrat president were forced to work together. But we've had worse, we'll put it that way. But overall, I'd say bad president from Slick Willie. Also got involved in a lot of fucking shit. But I mean, it's not to say we weren't involved in a lot of fucking shit in the, in the Bush and Reagan era either, but different time. Gerald Armstrong for 5. Memers need to start a Morbin time for Tron Ares.
Wasn't the same actor? What movie was he in that like it started to trend and the company thought like
Jared
it was
Leto.
a good idea? Yeah. What movie was that? It started to trend. It was Morpheus, right? Morbius. What I say, Morpheus. Yeah, that was so funny. It started to trend, and they're like, people are excited. Let's re-release the film. It bombed twice. That was crazy. The power of social media.
Yeah, Sony got trolled into releasing again because I know this is shocking. This is crazy. We've said it so many times, I feel like, but just because people are talking about your show or movie or whatever does not mean that it means people like it or they care about it or it's a good thing. Sometimes when people are talking about your movie, they're shitting all over it, and it's not a positive thing. The Acolyte, a lot of people were talking about The Acolyte. Didn't get watched by a lot of people, did it?
No.
Over on locals, A-Money Wilson for $1. Jay, look up Tron Uprising, aired on Disney XD, prequel to Tron Legacy.
Really?
I've heard people like Tron Uprising. But I don't know. Derek PG Beller, is Billy retarded? Jay always used the word Billy when he's talking about a little kid.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know where that started from. Oh, well.
Ronan for $2. Quarterly reminder for Ryan to watch the only season of Firefly and the movie Serenity, which finishes the story. Ronan, I told you I'm waiting for season 2 of Firefly. I'm waiting for it. I don't even know where to watch Firefly, to be honest with you. I don't even know where I'd go for that. But Jay, we do have something else to talk. Before we get to our next topics, we might have a couple next topics, actually. We do have something to talk about. You're a crypto guy, right?
Yes.
I've heard Jay talk about...
it's really down right now, but XRP...
It can be. Look, you win some, you lose some. But I know you have been for a while a crypto guy. I know some other people in the audience are too. Well, we've got something for you. Let's be clear. Cryptocurrency is no longer emerging. It's here. And this latest move cements that reality in a big way. Trump media just inked a massive $6.4 billion deal with Yorkville Acquisition Corporation and Crypto.com, the crypto platform trusted by millions of users worldwide. They're teaming up to scoop up $6.4 billion in CRO, the powerhouse token that fuels fast, low-fee DeFi, staking rewards, and real-world perks like cash back on your spends to establish America's first CRO treasury, Trump Media Group CRO strategy. When it's done, this new company will be the biggest publicly traded CRO holder out there. Want in on the action for that and tons of other possible coins? Head to crypto.com today and let's make crypto great again. For more information on the proposed business combination, check out Yorkville Acquisition Corp public filings. You go,
if XRP ever hits $10, you'll never see me again, but there'll be signs.
Never?
I'm gonna go around the world twice over.
I've been checking out crypto.com a little bit.
Yeah.
Dipping my toes in the water over the past week or so, like after they came to us.
Not financial advice.
I'm relatively inexperienced when it comes to crypto in general. So but just like other ones, there are some cool things on their website, like sports stuff as well. So go check out crypto.com. Go check out crypto.com. And I'm not talking about crypto like the dog from Superman, okay? Not that crypto, please. Speaking of Superman, Peacemaker. The Peacemaker finale, Jay, came out.
Another one where people are like, this is awful. Horrible. Why?
Dude, no lies. Just a massive waste of time. That is the way to describe the entire season of Peacemaker. And it's kind of reflected in the ratings. Despite coming out on the back of what Warner Brothers told you was a huge success, even though it really wasn't, in Superman, and James Gunn connecting this movie to Superman and telling everybody that you have to watch this show to understand what's coming in the next Superman movie, the ratings have been trash for Peacemaker. And honestly, after the finale, although it's got a long runtime, so maybe that might help it out a little bit in the Nielsen ratings, I can't see this being the thing to get people in. And I just wanted to go through a random assortment of reactions. Some of these are from people who have liked James Gunn's DC universe. Some of it is from people that have not. But here's some of the reactions I saw this morning. You can't even spoil this finale because nothing happened. I'm crying. #Peacemaker. They're not really wrong. There's no reason this finale needed to be this long. And to be honest, there's no reason this season needed to exist, period. John Roca, who was sucking off James Gunn just a week ago over the Nazi episode. John Roca, I love Peacemaker season 1 finale. I wish I felt the same way about Peacemaker season 2 because it was an utter snore fest. It showed us the limits and cheesy instincts of James Gunn's writing sometime. He goes on a rant, but this is a dude who is quite literally sucking James Gunn's dick to completion just last week. I'm checked out on Peacemaker. Had a blast with season 1, but season 2 is a slog. It felt like an indulgent parade of Harcourt, James Gunn's wife, by the way, metal bands and juvenile humor stuff with lame guest appearances and a meandering storyline that went nowhere. Peacemaker season finale, what a joke. Peacemaker season finale, nothing burger. This entire season finale was just a long music video. It's not great. And look, I would not recommend that anybody, honestly, I would not recommend that anybody watch Peacemaker season 2.
That bad.
It really is. It's not fucking funny. It's not good. I don't feel like the story went anywhere. You had a little moment of like fucking virtue signaling when it came to Earth X that is, again, completely unnecessary in every way. It would have been interesting if they actually used Earth X in a way that fucking mattered, but they didn't. They just wanted to put out there that, by the way, this Nazi-controlled world isn't that much different than our own. Thanks, fat lesbian black woman who can do pretty much anything she wants in the current world she lives in, but gets chased down the street for being black, fat, and gay. In Nazi world, but it's not that much different. It's a fucking joke. There is one thing, one planet that they potentially discover that could potentially lead somewhere for Man of Tomorrow, but that is it. And you would only know that if you read a fucking comic book run from about 20 years ago. That might do something to set up some future stuff in Superman. But if you tell people they have to watch this shit to understand the next Superman movie, they're going to be so fucking disappointed, I think. Because I think season 2's, I wasn't a big fan of season 1. I think season 2 is absolute dog shit.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to take this down real quick. I saw some of these articles coming up too, where James Gunn talked to Ryan Reynolds about Deadpool showing up in the season finale. Would that have made any type of difference, or it would just be a key jangling cameo kind of thing? Which doesn't make any sense whatsoever because they're two different. Would that be the first like DC Marvel crossover kind of thing?
That would have been the epitome of just key jangling bullshit.
Okay.
Unless they were using it to set up a massive Marvel DC crossover arc,
Yeah.
Which, who knows? I mean, maybe that is a possibility.
Is that where James Gunn is trying to go, since he does have a lot of ties in Marvel? That he's like, hey, we could do something cool since the regular storylines ain't popping. Let's cross the streams.
Just throwing it out there, like these things have been talked about for a while, and we've obviously had periods where they did that. The crossovers in the comics, but I would not be shocked if, now I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, but I would not be shocked that it's 6 years from now, 5 years from now, in the aftermath of the next 2 Avengers movies and probably some struggling DC movies as well. If they get together like, hey, we kind of got nothing left in our bag. Why don't we try this? Maybe people get hyped to see these characters fight. I wouldn't be shocked.
It would.
I would not be shocked.
That would be some serious negotiations, hopefully with the right people, because Marvel wouldn't want their characters to look weak and DC wouldn't want their. So it's like if they put Batman versus Wolverine, probably would end in a tie. They'd show a lot of cool stuff, but I would assume they would just kind of do storylines where they would fight. And then like Batman versus Superman, then they'd have to come together at the end to fight another bad person, some made up creature maybe that wouldn't affect either universe if they did something like that. But if you have the wrong people negotiating, you can make Marvel look really, really bad. Like we're the weaker of the superheroes than DC. I think I don't know.
And it was like there's a lot of people who feel like they got suckered in because there was promised to be some big cameos. There just fucking wasn't.
Really?
Lex Luthor did show, like in terms of the end, Lex Luthor did show up in episode 6 or whatever that was for a 1-minute conversation while in prison. But fuck, dude. I was never really expecting to love it. I thought Peacemaker season 1 was very don't really like it that much, but don't despise it. So I wasn't expecting a lot going into it. I think it's a huge step down, and maybe it just seems so low effort, and maybe James Gunn is overwhelmed with all the stuff that he's trying to juggle right now, doing this while doing the Superman movie and overseeing other stuff. I don't know. It fucking sucked. It sucked.
And what's crazy is you wonder if he knows that it stinks, because the way that they try to market it, where it's like, please watch it. It's going to tie into Superman. If you love Superman, you need to watch it. You got to do your homework. The crazy thing is Marvel went down that road where they told you to do your homework and it failed miserably. All that stuff of, watch Loki season 1. It's going to tie in here and all this is going to tie in here. And when you start to tell people you need to sit down and do your homework so you can understand each story, that ain't it. The biggest homework thing that we'll ever do is probably wait till the end credits, but those times might be completely gone now, because usually on an opening weekend, some idiot like myself or others will just post the end credit scene on Twitter and you could watch it there instead of having to wait till you see every Billy, Tom, Dick, and Harry's name go up on the screen. So that's usually where we are now as far as social media goes. So it's a shame that they didn't learn their lesson where it's like, don't tell the people they got to do homework so they could better understand this universe, especially when Superman wasn't really received as well as you probably thought it was going to be received. Like that's, I think if they wanted to do something to tie in, they should do something like a crypto series. Just keep it for a younger audience and just have that dog running around with just doing stuff. It doesn't really tie into anything, but it could get a younger audience excited to go watch some of these other films.
Mr. Terrific and crypto series.
I mean, if Supergirl has the same budget, I don't expect, unless it's like unbelievable, I don't expect Supergirl to make as much as Superman if they got the same kind of budget.
I don't think so. Now, here's the thing. I do think that Superman will be in that movie. Obviously we know Lobo is going to be in that movie. So maybe the presence of Superman, maybe they market that heavily to make it seem like another Superman movie, to get, I don't know. Supergirl is not Wonder Woman, right? In terms of like the character's overall popularity and stuff. And I don't think anyone expected Wonder Woman necessarily to make more money than Batman versus Superman, but it did. So who knows? Anything can happen if people really do like the movie. But in terms of would I bet on that? No, certainly not.
Yeah.
I would bet on it getting a significantly lower return than Superman. We'll see. Crazy Clown Town. Right as I was typing a crypto the dog joke, Ryan read my mind. What do you think this big ass forehead's for? The Omega Man for 5. Tom from Midnight's Edge called season 2 of Peacemaker high art, and anyone mocking it a grifter farming outrage clicks. I don't know if I believe you. I think you might be trying to get me to respond to that. If he did, that's his prerogative, I suppose. But I don't know if I believe you, Omega Man. The Trillist for 5. You mean Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 37 isn't any good?
That's pretty good.
Mathian for Norwegian 50. James Gunn is movie and TV's Peter Molyneux. Such a liar. River Miles, James Gunn jangling the keys to his windowless van full of free candy and puppies. Sly Rye for 5. No one likes homework, especially in entertainment. Like turn off your brain action superhero movies.
Correct.
Yeah, nobody. That's true. Do people really want to have to do homework to go watch Blue Beetle or something,
Exactly.
Probably not.
Exactly.
Probably not. Make sure we're caught up on these other ones. We're good on Rumble. We're good on locals. Where was that? We got to talk about old Jimmy's ratings, Jay.
Oh, really? You mean the one that everybody was so upset that it's the show that everyone was mad because they all loved watching the show that it might have been somewhat canceled? What? You mean they're going downhill as predicted? That he would have one big pop? Just curious to see what he was going to say, and then it's all over.
I can't believe this is happening, Jay. I genuinely can't believe it. We were told that Jimmy Kimmel was the biggest victim of freedom of expression, being taken away from us. We were told that Trump demanded he was taken off there. We were told that we promise his ratings are going to stay this high. Everyone really cares about Jimmy Kimmel. He's a warrior fighting for us. And we promise we care about this show. We're going to cancel Disney Plus if you don't bring Jimmy Kimmel back. We care so much. And of course, that first night, like you talked about, Jay, Jimmy Kimmel, his triumphant return after the biggest attack on free speech ever was a 4-day paid suspension. Yeah. Because sponsors were pulling out, because local broadcasters didn't want to run it until he addressed the situation, because he was going to go on air and make it worse. That's why Disney themselves suspended him. But his triumphant return draws 6.3 million viewers, the most watched regular episode His highest ratings in over a decade, Jay. I mean, the sky's now the limit for Jimmy Kimmel. You had to imagine that he was going to capitalize on that. So many more people realized what they were missing every night when they didn't tune into Jimmy Kimmel. That didn't last long. Jimmy Kimmel ratings crater, drop 85% of viewers in the key demographic since return to late night Disney TV. Don't call it a comeback, because it isn't one. Ratings for Jimmy Kimmel Live have absolutely cratered since the controversial partisan host returned to Disney-owned ABC late night lineup. When Jimmy Kimmel returned to his late night show after a suspension that made national headlines, ABC promoted it as a triumphant comeback. For the moment, the hype worked, but within just 2 weeks, the Jimmy Kimmel ratings have cratered. Let's get into these exact numbers.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback, because it's not. According to Fox News, and Fox News is using the official ratings, it's not just like a report from Fox News. Jimmy Kimmel Live has lost 85% of its key demographic viewers since that hyped comeback episode. On Thursday, October 2nd, Jimmy Kimmel Live averaged 1.9 million total viewers, a loss of 71% from the audience of 6.3 million that tuned in for the return. To make matters even worse, when it comes to the key demographics, so 25 to 54, that demo where advertisers really care the most, they pay the most for that stuff, that's what they care about. Kimmel's show went from 1.7 million viewers in that age group on the return night to just over 250,000 by Thursday, an 85% drop. So what this means is that the only people watching Jimmy Kimmel are old woke boomers and maybe some random fucking airline, like at airports and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like nobody under the age of 55 is watching Jimmy Kimmel, period. 250,000. That's the only people that are watching this show. What a fucking disaster. He's basically back to the level he was before this happened, which was that of a failing broadcast show.
Lord. I mean, it was predicted. Nobody was watching it before. We think that Disney was looking for a way to get rid of him, to get out of his contract. The dude was getting, what was he getting? Like 15 million a year. And late night talk show is just, listen, everything has a beginning and an end. When you start to drag things on a little too long, it's not good. And like late night talk show is just, it's just been even like Saturday Night Live. We just wait and see until they post clips on their social media, because that's just the highlight. You can get the highlight of all these talk shows. If somebody says something, actors don't need to do these shows anymore to promote movies and television shows like they used to. It used to be where, oh, you're going to get a sneak peek of a movie that no one else is going to see before if you come on this late night show. And we'll share it. They don't do that anymore. It's all about building their own social media for their movie and their own hype, and they could just post it there. And then, you know, people take it from there. There's enough YouTubers and podcasters to talk about it and blast it out there if it's whatever. But this is it's over for late night. And I guess Disney was hoping they could. I think that they were hoping they could have just gotten done with him, you know, and just kind of moved on. So, but here we are. I bet he'll finish out his contract and that'll be the end of it. So, unless they get him back like super cheap.
I mean, you saw Jeff Bridges went on there on Jimmy Kimmel to promote on Disney's ABC to promote the new Disney movie Tron Ares, and immediately made it all about Trump. I'm sure you saw those clips out there where he's the dude for a while and bitching about ICE and Trump. And
even the White House reposted something, but it was just, that's all it's become. You're right.
I'm sure that's going to help. It used to be like late night TV used to be fun, where you could tune in, you see a couple random celebrities from whatever, and they might tell a couple stories, because this is back in the day where you didn't have social media. You didn't see these people posting whatever they wanted all of the fucking time. You didn't have that shit. So you could go on there and you could listen to Tom Cruise talk for a little bit about his new thing. You get like 8 minutes of Tom Cruise telling weird stories and shit like that. And people used to like that. Now you get 8 minutes of whatever left-wing Hollywood hack. It's even if they were left-wing before, but that's all they talk about now. That's the entire purpose of them being there, is to just bitch about Trump and shit. And then they're like, oh, I guess we should talk about this movie that's coming out. And then by that point, I mean, only the people that are still part of that echo chamber audience are probably even going to care about it.
Correct. So. Correct. So not surprising at all. And one by one, I think they're all just going to disappear. You know, maybe Jimmy Fallon will just retire and just be a part of Universal Studios ride.
The Jimmy Kimmel ride. I'm not are you a fan of that ride? Do you like that one?
Not really.
I don't really either.
It's kind of weird. Like the line takes you through like a museum of like late night talk show. And I think the original design for that was to have, they thought that thing was going to be so popular. If you remember the line, you go upstairs, you know, and you see pictures of Johnny Carson and Jay Leno. If you keep going, there's a whole bunch of seating and a stage on the right. And from what I was told, they thought it was just going to be popular and they might have gotten some, I don't know, guests or something, that they were going to do like some kind of live performance while you're waiting in line. But it's, you just kind of wander. And then you finally see a guy dressed in a, you know, where you're supposed to go. And he's like, yeah, go get in line 6. They give you the 3D glasses and you sit down and then you got to wait for everyone to figure out how to buckle a seatbelt. And that's it. So, but they could do a lot of stuff in there, you know, which is, if they decide to change it, they can change that ride pretty quickly, I believe. So, for what it's worth.
Let's see. What is Bill Prime Gaming says praying for Benny Johnson? What's up with Benny?
Did you see that report about that streamer?
Oh, wait, are you talking about this person who was like threatening to kill? Oh shit. All right, here we go. Eric Daughtry, AG Pam Bondi announces federal charges against a leftist man who threatened to kill Benny Johnson.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, but real, not surprising. Not surprising. I mean, did you see this story? Right, I'll be very brief, but this is like, it's freaking a lot of crazy people out there, man. Obviously, it's like this Korean streamer. She was found dead after her attacker and longtime viewer donated almost $70K to her. The incident occurred after she tried to cut ties with this man, and so like he found her and killed her.
That's wild.
So a streamer.
What is he even wearing? Yeah, so here it is from Benny, like 8 minutes ago. We'll show this post from Benny, who's a friend of ours. Breaking. AG Pam Bondi announces the arrest of an individual who threatened to kill my entire family. He's being charged federally and faces prison if convicted. Threats were made against Benny Johnson and his wife, Kate. After Charlie's assassination, they received a letter at their home. The author of this letter made it clear he hates their views and wants them dead. We've arrested the author of this letter. George Isbell Jr. has been taken into custody this morning and will be charged federally. If convicted, he's going to prison. That's fucking scary for sure. Yeah. So I'm glad they're doing everything they can to punish this dude who actually levied a threat. Man, I keep all the letters that I get that are like that. I have them posted on my fridge, and every once in a while I go by there and I read it about this person who fucking wants me to die, wants to kill me or whatever, and I get inspired by it. Literally on my fridge. But there's obviously some stuff that you do take very seriously, and so that's scary as shit, especially if it's delivered to your home with your kids, your wife right there. So very scary. Very scary. Tom from Midnight's Edge says the earth is flat and that Ryan's a cocksucker. Thanks, Steven.
I believe that one. I saw he tweeted that.
I don't know if I buy that one either.
just you know, I was just being sarcastic.
I know. River Miles, LL Cool J.
Hey, thank you. I'm going
AJ
back
Lee,
to
Mac
Cali.
Jones, or
I don't think so.
Mac Jones or Brock Purdy? I don't know, man. Ride the Mac attack. Why not ride the Mac attack? Probably because you're paying Brock Purdy $60 million. But
yeah,
just saying. My favorite crew, the disgraced plastic surgeon and forehead the Fed. Thanks, Pod Racing.
That's right. Disgraced plastic surgeon.
Mathian, let's ride Jimmy Kimmel. Things Jeremy says to do. Vlad the man.
He loves that ride.
Hurrah. Jay Yuda Bomb says your mom.
Oh, yeah. He tells me that all the time.
Ronan for $2. You have to be entertaining to hold viewers. Watching G&G tards is fun, even when they're late and gay. Adding the chat interaction aspect, even with trolls, you have a winning formula. Late night equals dead. Late night does equal dead. No doubt about that. But I think we're all caught up, Jay, and the internet somehow held up. I don't know if the delay's as bad as it was earlier, but holy shit. We got through it. I
hope everybody has a great weekend and they do something fun. Check out FNT later if you've got nothing to do.
Well, even if you have something to do, check out FNT.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't know what the fuck we'll be talking about over there, but hopefully something interesting. Go check us out on FNT and have a fantabulous weekend, everybody. I'm going to be watching the Cubs this weekend. Hopefully pull it out against the fucking Brewers. But we'll see. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. So long. Farewell. Arvidas, say goodbye.